You're listening to the Black to Business Podcast, an educational podcast providing Black entrepreneurs with the tools and resources to start and grow their businesses. We chat with vetted Black entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and business owners as they provide tips and resources to help take your business to the next level. I'm your host, Monique T. Marshall. Hey, welcome to the Black to Business Podcast. I'm your host, Monique T. Marshall. Now, on today's solo episode, I want to talk about something that's really been on my mind a lot lately. I have been having so many conversations with entrepreneurs who are grinding day in and day out, especially at the top of the year. We're focused on keeping things running, booking the next client, and making sure the bills are getting paid. And trust me, I get it. When you're building something from the ground up, it's so easy to get caught in the cycle of just trying to stay afloat. But today, I want to challenge you to think bigger. Not just about what's happening in your business today, but where you want your business to go. Because let's be real, those big opportunities that you dream about, they don't just fall into your lap. They come to people and businesses that are prepared for them. And the mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is waiting until they think they are ready before they start preparing. And here's a spoiler alert. The preparation has to come first. So in today's episode, we're talking about how to build your business with growth in mind so that when those bigger opportunities come your way, you're ready to take them on. And this is going to be a short and sweet episode. You know how I like to do, but it's going to be so powerful and with some key takeaways. So let's get into it. So let's start with this. If you are only making decisions based on what you need to survive right now, you're setting yourself up to struggle later. And I know it's so tempting to just focus on the next client, the next invoice, the next month of revenue. But if you want to grow, you have to think beyond survival. And a lot of us businesses start out of necessity. Maybe you needed to create your own income, escape a toxic work environment, or finally just take control of your time. But once you get past that initial phase, you have to start thinking and asking yourself, am I building something sustainable? Or am I just surviving? And here's the difference between operating in survival mode versus operating for growth. So survival mode is about making enough money to get by. It's focusing only on the next sale, the next invoice, the next client. It's reactive, always putting out fires, always chasing what's urgent instead of what is important. Now there's growth mode. So growth is about making decisions today that set you up for success tomorrow. It's about putting systems in place, planning for the next level, and really being intentional about how you build your business. And I know it can be hard to think long term when you're feeling like you have to grind just to keep things going, especially in the beginning. But hear me when I say, if you stay in that mindset too long, you're going to find yourself constantly working but never truly moving forward. So I want you to start by asking yourself these 3 questions. Am I making business decisions that align with where I want to go? Or am I just doing what I need to do to survive today? So that's the first question. The second question you want to ask yourself is, if a major opportunity came my way tomorrow, whether it's a big client, a media feature, or an investment, would I be ready to handle it? And then the third question you want to ask, if I stepped away from my business for a week, would things still run smoothly? Or does everything depend on me, hands-on 24/7? If your answer to any of these questions make you uncomfortable, I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. That is a sign that you are too deep in survival mode, and it is time for you to start thinking bigger. Okay, so now that we have that out the way, let's talk about how you can start positioning yourself for bigger opportunities even before you feel ready. And one of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs make is waiting until they feel ready to position themselves for bigger opportunities. But the reality in this is opportunities do not come when you're ready. They actually come when you've done the work to appear ready long before they arrive. And let me tell you, positioning is everything. And I've had so many people assume that Black to Business is this huge company with a full staff because of it's how we operate and how we present ourselves. And honestly, that is not by accident. It is really by design. And so I remember when we had summer interns, and one of them thought that the large photo, if you go to our website, One of them thought that that photo on our website, it was from one of our past events. They thought that this was the Black to Business team. And then there was another intern, they said, I assumed that I was going to be going from floor to floor between all these departments. And I was like, I love it that you all see the vision. But I say that to share, you have to do things by design and be intentional. And we are structured this way. We seem to be structured this way because it is by design. And that is all in the power of positioning. So what does positioning actually mean for your business? So it's about being intentional about how your business presents itself to the world. It's about making sure that when someone comes across your brand, whether that's on social media, your website, or in a professional setting, they immediately see a business that looks well structured, professional, and ready for the big opportunities. And if you're not sure about where to start, here's what to focus on. So you want to refine your branding and messaging. So make sure your website, your social media, and your overall brand communicate clarity and professionalism. And you do not need a big budget, but you do need consistency. And then another thing you want to do is be consistent in how you show up. So whether online or in person, your brand should align across all touch points. So this means your messaging, your visual branding, and the communication should all tell the same story. And then another thing to focus on is operate like the business you want to be. So if you want high-level clients and partnerships, you have to present yourself as a business that can handle them. And that means having organized systems, professional communications, and a structure that shows you are serious about what you do. And I want to make this clear. Positioning isn't just about how you look. It's about how you operate. So when you're organized, clear in messaging, and show up consistently, you start to attract opportunities instead of chasing them. And that's the shift. Instead of constantly having to convince people that you're ready, you become the business that naturally stands out as the right choice. So now that you understand the importance of positioning, I want to talk about how you can actually set your business up for growth, because positioning alone will not do the work for you if your foundation is not solid. So if you're serious about growth, you have to get serious about how your business runs behind the scenes. Because let's be real, Black entrepreneurs, you cannot scale if your business is chaotic. And a lot of entrepreneurs stay stuck in reaction mode. So you're constantly putting out those fires, constantly being a firefighter, and you're scrambling to meet all these deadlines and struggling to honestly keep up. So if every client or every sale ends you in a frenzy, that is a sign that your foundation isn't set up for growth. So what does this actually mean to set your business up for scalability? So here are 3 things you should prioritize. So the first thing is document. I talk about this all the time if you listen to my solo episodes. Document your processes. So whether it's how you onboard a new client, send invoices, or how you handle marketing, having systems save you time and stress. And if you have to explain the same thing multiple times, it should be written down or recorded for easy reference. And then the second thing is use templates and automation. So stop doing the same task from scratch every single time. You want to use email templates, automate scheduling, and streamline repetitive tasks so that your time is spent on growth-focused work. And the third thing you want to do is start delegating sooner rather than later. I just talked about this on a previous episode. So even if you're not ready to hire help full time, outsourcing those small tasks can free up your time to focus on strategy and expansion. And that doesn't mean you have to have someone on full time. You can get someone on project based, contract based. So when you start making these shifts, you create a business that works for you and not one that constantly drains you. And that's exactly what sets you up to handle those bigger opportunities when they do come your way. Okay? So now that we've covered the systems, let's talk about something that is just as important: the relationships that help elevate your business. So you don't just work your way into bigger opportunities, you connect your way into them. So relationships are the things that open doors that hustle alone cannot. So when I first moved to New York, I didn't know anyone. I had no network, no business network. And I was really building relationships from scratch. I was out at the events connecting with people, genuinely connecting with people. But I was also clear about what I was building. I showed up consistently and I supported others in ways that were mutually beneficial. And over time, people saw my work ethic and the quality of what I produced. And then that led to connections, that led to collaborations, and then that led to referrals that helped me grow Black to Business. So I tell you this to say, if you want to position yourself for growth, who you know matters. And here's how to build relationships with intentions. So first, you want to be clear on what you offer. So people need to know what you do so they can refer opportunities to you. And then the second thing is you want to provide value first. So build relationships by giving, not just asking. And then the third thing that you want to do is stay in touch with people. Networking is not just about meeting people. It's about nurturing those relationships. Sending messages, congratulating people, saying, hey, I noticed you did this. And you'd be surprised on how that continues to grow the relationship. And you don't just work your way into bigger opportunities. You connect your way into them. So relationships open doors that hustle alone cannot. And beyond systems and branding, the right connection can accelerate your business growth in ways that strategy alone cannot. So the people that you align yourself with can introduce you to opportunities. It can also provide mentorship and advocate for you in rooms you haven't entered yet. So once you've built a strong network and positioned yourself well, you might be thinking, what's next? So now it's time to shift from simply running a business to thinking like a business owner who plays the long game. So your business will never outgrow your mindset. And this is something that is powerful to understand, because if you want to play in those bigger spaces, you have to start thinking like a business owner today. So that means making decisions with long-term impact in mind. So every choice that you make should align with where you want your business to go, not just what's convenient right now. And then the other thing is not being afraid to charge what you are worth and set clear boundaries. Confidence in your value will attract the right opportunities and also the right clients. And then the other thing is seeing investments in your business as steps towards growth, not just as expenses. So growth requires investment, whether it's in mentorship, branding, or systems. Because at the end of the day, the best opportunities don't wait for you to feel ready. They come to those who have positioned themselves to receive them. And so finally, if you want bigger opportunities, you have to build like you're expecting them. You don't have to have everything figured out today, but you do need to start making moves like the business that you want to become. This is really, really important. So I want you to ask yourself, are the decisions you're making today setting you up for bigger opportunities tomorrow? And let's make sure that that answer is yes. Okay? And before we wrap up this short and sweet episode, I just want to take a moment to really thank you for being a part of the Black to Business family. I appreciate you for showing up for yourself and for your business. You are the one that is creating opportunities. You are shifting narratives and making an impact. So I encourage you to keep going. I know it can be tough sometimes, but just keep moving. And if this episode resonated with you, let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram. We're at Black2Business. TO Business, and tell me what steps you're taking to position yourself for growth. And if you found this episode valuable, also be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. So we're really trying to amp up our Apple Podcast review. So please leave us an Apple Podcast review. It helps us continue bringing you the content that you need. So I will see you back here next week, same time, same place. But until then, keep building boldly and keep pushing the culture forward. Later.